Hello everybody, and of course welcome to the ESPL weekly series number 6. This is the second game of the second semi-finals between Team Druckwelle and the Mongolz. Of course, casting for you today is myself, Briefcase, and giving you some very good jokes. I know how much you enjoyed those. Along with me is my lovely co-caster, Mito.
Yeah, what's up guys? I think we should run a poll to see who has the better jokes, even though mine are directly a rip-off from Google. I'm pretty sure you got your jokes somewhere, right? I mean, it has to come from somewhere. You didn't just spontaneous come up with jokes, right?
I came up with my 2 vegetable puns. I came up with those all by my lonesome.
For sure?
Oh yeah.
But Google it, I'm not gonna find any of those.
You might, but I definitely thought of them. I didn't look them up at the very least. But yeah, so it's not. It kind of shows just how good they are, right? That I didn't have any other help with them.
Oh damn. Hey, you can be one of those guys that sells jokes on the street, right? I mean, they probably make a lot of money.
Right? They make like at least
have you thought
a
of
quarter.
Yeah. Have you ever tried? I mean, that will reflect just how good your jokes are, you know? Like, $1 for a joke, and if you don't laugh, then you don't have to pay.
Yeah, I think I'd have to bust out the 18+ jokes. I'm gonna be running that gamut.
Oh no.
No, it's good, it's good. But right, I guess we can just get into the draft though. Really, what do you think of these bands? Pretty standard, huh?
10 seconds remaining.
Right now, I feel like Mongolz, they need to adapt to the way Druckwelle plays, and that's always... Druckwelle always has a lineup that has to do with heavy pushing, somewhat. And they like to remove heroes like Nyx Assassin and Invoker. Those are some of the heroes that can destroy the split pushing strats, or stall their push significantly.
It seems
I don't know.
a little odd to me that
Druckwelle...
they wouldn't have taken out Nature's Prophet, seeing just how potent he was last game.
Run Spirit Breaker. Nature's Prophet is actually fairly easy to counter in a lot of senses. It's just that its utility, like that the hero provides, and just being able to be anywhere at any time, it's great. Nature's Prophet in professional game right now has one of the lowest win rate.
I've heard,
as of it's just so easily countered, and with the buffs, well, not really buffs, but with the the gaining popularity of Disruptor, it's gonna be pretty good for Disruptor to be picked up against the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot. I think there's a lot of really. I don't want to say easy, but a lot of really quite good ways to deal with Nature's Prophet. But it still seems like, I don't know, unless you're maybe in the highest level of player, that sort of thing, where you've maybe fought against Nature's Prophet all the time. And I experience this even in pubs. Just a lot of people just can't deal with the fact that he just shows up all the time unannounced in every single fight. And I don't know, it felt like last game he actually didn't contribute too much to too many ganks, but just the split push coming out of him was too much for the Mongolz to really handle, and he's still in the table. It's not like Visage counters him by any means, so I'm a little surprised that they actually didn't ban him out.
Oh, so this time it'll be Druckwelle's turn to go for the Ancient Apparition, and they're gonna hit like trucks. You have the Luna with the, what's the aura called? Luna Blessing, there you go. And we have the Chilling Touch on top. That's gonna, that's a lot of right-clicking power.
What is that?
And Mongolz, they're going for Naga Siren.
It's an extra 68 damage? That 68? Luna Blessing is 14, Chilling Touch 50. Okay, so 64 extra damage on pretty much everybody in lane. That is double damage across the board for every single person, and then some for some of these heroes as well. So, like you're saying, that is absolutely terrifying to go up against.
Hell yeah, my favorite heroes in the pool. Naga Siren. Wonder if it's gonna be a mid-solo Naga Siren or is it gonna be a safe trialing. The last time I saw the Mongolz pull it off, I think it was yesterday. I believe it was a mid-solo Naga Siren. And mid-solo Naga Siren is just so freaking good, especially on the Radiant side, because if you can micro them properly, you can stack both a large and medium camp at the same time, and then you can have one additional illusion checking top rune, your main hero is checking the bot rune, and you're never really losing out anything, even if you struggle during the laning phase.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I guess it just I want to see the Naga Siren I want to see her decimate, and obviously Luna actually doesn't have too bad of a time against Naga Siren. Eclipse pretty much gets completely countered by Mirror Image, but in saying that, once it does get late enough game, the Glaives are kind of one of those only saving hopes or saving graces of some of the carries that can sort of deal with Naga Siren. But of course, as we've seen in, at least as I've seen in pretty much every single game with a carry Naga, as soon as she gets off and gets kind of unimpeded farm for, I don't know, 20 or so minutes and ends up, even with a sort of late Radiance around the 25-minute mark, it can just be so impossible to deal with her.
Dire team pick.
Oh, I'm loving this Timbersaw pickup. This is another answer to Nature's Prophet. Yeah, it pretty much destroys Nature's Prophet in terms of laning. What they have to watch out for, though, is if they do want to run the Timbersaw up against Nature's Prophet, they have to be able to deal with the tri-lane. And that means being able to survive all the right clicks. Naga Siren's already pretty good. Starts out with 6 armor, take a couple of right clicks, but ultimately I would prefer, so far I prefer a mid-solo Naga Siren over anything else. And they can go for a much stronger tri-lane as well.
Really, mid-solo Naga, just for the option of using those mirror images to pull all the camps and check the rune, that alone, or?
Yeah, not only that, I'm just thinking Druckwelle, they can easily pick up an Ember Spirit. And then line up.
Oh, that would be
so
perfect.
Promising.
That'd be that is like one of those heroes that just deals with Naga Siren so well.
Yeah, not bad. During the laning phase, Ember Spirit with that pretty much like the fake Iron Shell walking around. That skill, I think it's way too good. Ember needs nerf, but at the same time, I don't want him to get nerfed. He's like one of my favorite heroes. Naga Siren and Ember for now. And Invoker kind of, because that new set just looks so good from Dota Cinema.
Radiant team.
Like, I'm actually drooling. I drooled a little. That's why it goes that tiny pause.
No, that's that. I mean, it is pretty stunning. And ooh, Alchemist, Shadow Shaman, and Nature's Prophet. This is looking to be a pretty scary, like mid-ish game push lineup. Do you think we're actually going to be seeing a carry Alk? He hasn't really been run that way too much, and he's almost fallen off completely since he got nerfed. But I mean, he is in the pool. It's probably going to be what, like a mid-solo Shadow Shaman, and then you got your tri-lane Alk, Ancient, Luna, and Nature's Prophet in the off. Is that? Think I'm right in saying that?
10 seconds.
I don't know. Like the Alchemist is an X factor. Because both the Shadow Shaman and the Alchemist, they can play it but mid. Alchemist does fine against puck. I mean, sure, you're not going to kill the puck, but I mean, constantly throwing down the assist ray is pretty devastating for the puck. And once Alchemist hits level 6, then there's absolutely nothing puck can do. Whereas Shadow Shaman, it's a little bit more like, it demolishes puck as well with your skill set, pretty much. The Fork Lightning and the Shackle, the Hex. Yeah, I don't know. Both heroes does fine at mid against puck. Alchemist plus AA support does sound a little more promising in terms of if you want to kill. But Shadow Shaman plus AA and Luna, if it is a tri-lane, right? Then you've got immense right clicks and you've got great lockdowns. Just at the tri-lane, you don't have someone to tank up and soak the damage.
It definitely seems like Druckwelle, they have some leniency with how they can lane this, some options for what they want to do. And I mean, as far as the Mongolz are concerned, you got Lifestealer. He's doing, I feel like he's doing a-okay against this lineup that Druckwelle is running. But as far as the lanes are concerned, I guess they also have some choices to make. But I mean, you get puck in the mid, and then you just got to decide who else you're sending where and exactly their roles as well. But let's get into who's actually playing who. Right off the bat, we're going to be saying that stand-in Corrin going to be the Luna once again. James Joyce as the Ancient Apparition. Cube going as this Alchemist. And in my experience, Cube is usually that mid-hero, so we might be seeing that mid-Alchemist like you suggested. Stand-in Akimbro going to be the Shadow Shaman, and it looks like we're going to have off-lane second and Setsu once again on the Nature's Prophet. See if he can do as much work this game as he did last game. And now you want to take these smoke ganking Mongols, my friend?
Yeah, they're aware that Team Druckwelle, their lineup can take a level 1 Roche, but that's not going to be the case. So quickly go through the players. Packs are going to be players carry, Lifestealer, we're gonna have.
Oh no,
Huntsman
Mito.
MGL.
You're turning robotic.
Am I?
Yeah, I hear you're super robot-y on mine. Maybe it's just a little bit of a connection issue, something along those lines, but that was pretty rough. You want to give me a little chitty chat right now, see if it's still the same?
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Oh, you're all right. You're all right now.
Okay. So Storm's gonna be playing as a support Nagasiren. Huntsman MGL gonna be playing as a support Visage. At mid, we have Sankey, the Shadow Priest from the previous game with amazing last hits, gonna be going as the Puck this game. And
The battle
finally, we have a
begins.
Safe Lane solo Masquerade playing as a Timbersaw.
And I assume you said Paxa when you were a robot.
Oh no, did I not say him correctly, like during the lag? Okay, so Paxa, he's gonna be on the carry lifestealer, and they're going for an aggressive trial lane. It's gonna be very interesting. I am expecting the Chilling Touch to do massive amounts of damage should they ever engage.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be pretty interested to see just how much work Chilling Touch is gonna do, along with that aura, if that's how they if that's how they skill it up. But now with these two AA little illusions, I mean, they're gonna be able to get at least a few pot shots in as well. Gonna be hopefully a little bit useful, and they have gotten that Chilling Touch first, so. And that blessing as well. So now it looks like they're trying to make something happen. Storm trying very, very hard to make an engagement happen right now, but not too sure if they can really continue with this. They actually have Ether Shock, so it's not any lockdown coming out of Akimbo on this Shadow Shaman, so they need to be a little bit careful of just how these fights are going to pan out. Paxa doesn't have any kind of static regen from Feast right now. Instead, he's opted to get that open wounds to be very aggressive, but they just can't make anything happen with it, so probably not going to see too much happen. Now he's due indeed. There's Corrin getting ensnared, getting Soul Assumption, and that is a lot happening, and Chilling Touch just enough to polish him off. Second Densetsu TPing in immediately. Now a heap of trouble though, but it doesn't seem to really be going too badly. Still getting a trade. Soul, you got Visage for that Ancient Apparition, and you needed to get second Densetsu out of there, opening up the bot lane for Masquerade a little bit. So, I mean, I guess that's going slightly in favor of the Mongols, but not too drastically by any means.
Oh, it's definitely going in favor of Mongols when you have a free farming Timbersaw down a bot. Sure, he didn't have to go top for his team to come out like even in terms of hero kills. But look at this Timbersaw. I mean, Timbersaw is one of those heroes that has so much burst, and Furion already struggles against this hero, and now it just gets worse for Furion. He's gonna go back to the lane. He's gonna find himself up against a level 4 Timbersaw, and Furion's only gonna be level 2. It's gonna be rough.
Oh yeah, not only will Timbersaw have the huge level advantage, but I mean, he is one of those heroes where as soon as he gets arcane boots, especially early, all of his mana problems just seem to kind of fade away. And now it looks like Sonke trying his very best to just try to annoy Cube as much as humanly possible, and he's doing just that. As far as his tri-lane is concerned up top, however, I think Corrin's learned his lesson of just how incredibly squishy Luna is early on. Still, only level 2, still hasn't quite even hit 500 HP, and I mean, it just goes to show you how strong Soul Assumption is against these tiny little glass cannon heroes, especially early on in the laning phase. It's just too much to handle right now. Probably gonna have to wait around till around level 3 when they can get some similar burst coming out of their lineup as well.
My worry for Druckwelle right now is look at the Timbersaw. He's having a great time, right? And you have a trialing versus trialing, and when you have a trialing versus trialing scenario, it means everyone's level is going to be stalled a lot more. Unless one side is crushing the other. But while it's hanging balance, most likely when a Timbersaw hits level 6 or 7, the trialings will only be at level 4. And that's a scary thought, because the amount of burst that Timbersaw has up against these fragile heroes, it might be a little overwhelming.
And I mean, not only that, sometimes you see a Timbersaw in the off lane and you aren't as scared of him getting the levels because you know he's getting at least a couple points in reactive armor. It looks like we have an engagement up top, however. Akimbo absolutely melting that Soul Assumption. Can't do too much. Corrin overstaying his welcome as well. All they need is one more Ensnare, one more Soul Assumption, one more anything. A Grave Chill now being used, but it looks like we had a bluff TP coming out. Second Densetsu finally does get in. He's right on top of Storm, but of course eating a tree will provide you enough to get out of there. Ether Shock, as well as those glaives, enough to finish off that Visage. James Joyce trying his very best to get here in time. Can't quite get there though. Paxa now running for his life, and Chilling Touch so close to just manhandling him, but once again, like we've been saying, and like you are always a little bit fearful of, Masquerade on the bot lane, just having the best time of his life. And like I was saying, sometimes you see an offlane Timbersaw, he's forced to get reactive armor level 2, sometimes even level 3 if it's maybe the scariest tri-lane in the world, something like that. But he can basically go almost full burst right now, and like you're saying, once he does hit level 7 or level 6, the burst coming out of him is just going to be absolutely terrifying for all these tri-laners up top, especially a Luna, who only now gets over 550 HP. That's like one rung.
Mid.
Oh yeah, I saw that happening as well. Cupid now just getting caught out. Huntsman always with the soul assumption. Sonke using that dream coil quite nicely just to make sure that he does not get out of there. And he actually had a smoked up Storm just to try and look and guarantee it. Now it looks like we have a Kimbro trying to find a Paxa. Has Shackle, can't quite get it off in time, and there just is no follow up. And now Storm heading up top to make sure that Paxa has a much better time farming than he might have had already. Storm right on top of James Joyce. James Joyce, oh my god, has absolutely no HP either. And now Storm way too far forward, but they can't quite seem to find him. Now Corrin, not too sure what to do, and Snare on him as well. Might be able to polish off a Storm with all this extra damage, but not too sure about that. Ether Shock, James Joyce needs one more hit, does find a Storm, but a Kimbro falling now to Paxa, can't do a single thing. As that's happening, you have Sonke teleporting in, seeing if he can't help out, but just getting there a smidge too late. Not to mention Masquerade actually coming up here as well, and instead now he can just troll the jungle if he really wanted to. Oh, Masquerade getting there just in time. Cupid actually, did they just deny that rune? I think they did, yeah.
Yep, Sanki denied it. It was a nice play. Because he wasn't going to get there as fast as the Alchemist, and Timbersaw got stunned up, so he just denies it. The great rune deny.
Yeah, nice little bit of a clean, crisp play there coming out of Sonke. And he hasn't actually been destroying this mid lane as much as I would have hoped. Obviously, Cube has lost it comparatively, but still going pretty nicely tit for tat against Puck. Not to say that he's got the burst, and obviously now that Cube has hit level 6, there's pretty much nothing Puck can do now to ever kill him.
This is so nice.
Oh man.
Furion pulled the creep wave towards mid, so he's trying to give Alchemist a little bit more XP, but Alchemist just wasn't aware of it. But this is great, and as well as he just did so much damage to bot tier 1, so a very nice play from the Furion. We have a smoke gank.
Oh yeah, James Joyce and Kimbro now smoking up, and obviously they do have the lockdown to take down this Puck just with that instant cast Hex along with a Shackle. That's going to be a guaranteed cold feet as well, and if Sonke doesn't get out of here, Illusory Orb is actually down, sadly enough for him. It just looks like he's a little bit too fast, and now finally does get used, and he is able to jaunt out of there. Looks like we have a TP coming in from Teal. Obviously that's going to be an ensnare, but now nice coil onto a Kimbro just on the edge of it, doesn't want to fall prey to it, but that Illusory Orb able to melt both of them. Cube though with this ult, not too sure he can do too much. Storm does throw down an ensnare, always does have a Song of the Siren if they want to keep this going. Soul Assumption does fly. Cube that regen saving his life here. Illusory Orb now. Sonke really does want this.
Stick.
Still can't quite get there in time, and yeah, Cube with Magic Stick always available, and as that's happening, Masquerade actually finds a solo kill on this Nature's Prophet, and like you were saying, Nature's Prophet has a pretty hard time against some guy who his whole purpose in life is cutting down trees.
What they can do is just rotate the Prophet into the jungle. He can't survive the lane. Might as well just go in the jungle and then have a support player like...
Looks like Huntsman way too far forward. Not even too sure what he's doing, but can they actually polish him off? No Ether Shock available. Second Densetsu there to try and get it, and does indeed. And now Paxa, do you have a way to cut trees? Not at the moment. Eating quite a bit of damage. That Lunar Blessing doing a lot of work. Plus 22 on everybody. Can't quite find him. And there's that Nature's Prophet ult just to guarantee it. Looks like they got a TP coming in from Sonke now as well. Seeing if he can't polish people off, he's going to have to use as many bottle charges as as he possibly can. A Kimbro trying to hide, can't quite do it though. And now double damage rune, gonna be able to polish him off. Sanke might fall for this, however. Lose the orb, doesn't actually have enough mana, needs to be able to bottle through this. Storm now here as well, can always cast Song of the Siren to set up, and with more TPs coming in, second Densetsu gonna fall, and there is that Song of the Siren to try and make sure that this carry gets nowhere. And if we can get an open wounds just in time, can indeed. A TP is being used, however. Corrin just barely dies. Oh my word, barely getting out of there. You now have James Joyce on the bot lane against Masquerade. That is not a matchup you usually want. An AA against a Timbersaw, you really can't deal with him in any way.
Yeah, I feel like they need the level 6, and that's why they let the AA soak up some XP at the bottom.
And there it
but
is,
he's
James
in so
Joyce
much
in
trouble.
a heap of trouble. Might actually kill him before the Shack Room does, and does indeed. Looks like a Kimbro getting there just in time to help his frosty buddy. Whew, a Chilling Touch not coming into play too much there, but able to just kill him just in time.
The stealing the stacks for Luna. And now these supports are getting really good levels. 10 minutes in, Naga's already level 7.
Oh yeah, and you compare the support of Naga Siren, actually AA going tit for tat in that respect, and actually Shadow Shaman beating Visage right now, so I thought Mongolz might be having a little bit better experience gain on their supports, but it doesn't seem to be going that way entirely, really. Things just not looking too bad.
Yeah, surprisingly. Force is still currently in favor of the Mongols. Alright, I'll be right back.
Alright. Sounds good. It looks like Mito just getting it called. Maybe something a little bit important coming up. Not too bad by any means. It now looks like Paxa and second Densetsu. Obviously, Paxa, no way to actually deal with trees. Isn't really the end of the world by any means. Q pops that ult just to get that mana back, and needs to be a little bit wary, of course. Soul Assumption, that is a lot of burst that can come out of there whenever they need it to. Cube, though, being very ballsy, going in now. They do have a courier here. No attempt to actually take it out, and of course that illusory orb not going to be doing too much damage. Cube doesn't really care. The regen out of Chemical Rage just way too drastic. However, you do have Naga Siren Storm down here. He's got Ensnare. They only need one to take down this Corrin, and that's all they really need to worry about. Now we have a TP coming in. Looks like Corrin and second Densetsu, they get the one little stun, but of course, with Phase Boots on Lifestealer, he's just going to be moving a smidge too fast for any of them to really and truly catch. While that's happening, you got AA ulting onto Visage, but it only hits him actually. And now with that Nature's Prophet ult, not able to quite polish him off. However, so not working out too terrifically. Masquerade so incredibly close to melting. Now Cube does get an ensnare on himself, but no follow-up is really coming out of the Mongols right now, so not too bad at all. And with that, just looks like the Mongols are happy to back off. If we look at the difference in gold, they are leading quite nicely in the gold area at the moment. Experience-wise, not doing as well, but 3,000 in favor of them at the moment. So they do have a nice tidy lead, but Sanke with that Lifestealer Bomb, ooh, that's only gonna increase it. And Team Druckwelle, it just looks like they're falling prey to the kind of nice mid-game and early-game pressure that the Mongols lineup can lay on there. And of course, Lifestealer, as far as a carry goes, he comes online much faster than Druckwelle's Luna. And now it looks like Storm and this Visage guaranteeing that second Densetsu not going to be having as much impact this game as he did last game. He did indeed get killed a couple times, but I don't know if it was even that, or even this many that long ago, so we shall see. And obviously, you do have this Infest Bomb onto Puck option, always very scary. Not to mention Infest onto Timbersaw, always an option as well. AA ult gets thrown down, isn't going to be enough. It looks like Paxa going right for the money. He's got a shock on him, however. Looks like Sanke here as well. Gets a nice little... Ooh, excuse me. Nice little silence onto Cube. Corrin is here, however. Eclipse doing a huge amount of work. Sanke needs to get out of here. Has one illusory orb available. Looks like he should be able to jaunt out of this one. Can indeed get it. Has a blink dagger as well. They will not be able to catch that fairy dragon by any means. While that's happening, though, your support Storm actually, or not, your support Storm not doing too badly as far as this Naga Siren is concerned. Yeah, just He's doing not too badly at all. Visage doing all right. On his way to a mech as well. Masquerade very close now to getting that Bloodstone. And really just needs to find a kill, find a couple minutes of farm, and he'll have it. And that is pretty terrifying, really. He's almost level 11, will be by the time he gets that Bloodstone. Looks like Sonke trying to find a Cube, but Cube charging up the stun very nicely. Hits Sonke. Where is the follow-up? It now looks like Paxa right on top of Cube, and of course Lifestealer, one of those heroes that eats through big HP very nicely. Sonke or Sonka, however you want to say it, is able to get out of that AA ult range, and using that Blink Dagger very nicely. It just looks like Team Druckwelle not having as good or as tidy of a match this time around. Masquerade now right on top of second Densetsu, needs one Timber Chain, one more right click, does indeed get it, and it just looks like Nature's Prophet having the roughest of times against Masquerade, and that is gonna make his Bloodstone come that much sooner. And with these Trents, hopefully he can clean these up, and yes indeed he can. One more last hit, there it is, that's a Bloodstone, and really it is just ridiculous. And now it looks like Visage trying to get caught out by a Kimbro, but these Familiars able to do enough damage and be annoying enough to really make a Kimbro a little bit scared. He does have ult, and this is one thing, we actually haven't seen Serpent Wards used once this entire game. And they really haven't tried to make use of them to get any big pushes. I can't believe both of those Familiars actually got it out of there. Now they can use those Serpent Wards obviously to Roche, and it looks like that's exactly what they want to do. But they need to be careful here, obviously. There is a lot of AoE that can come out. Sonke, though, nowhere to be seen, is not going to get here in time with that infested Lifestealer, unfortunately. And Masquerade, he's got this Bloodstone, but I don't think he's going to really have enough mana to combo out entirely. So this Roche, everybody's clumped up, but they're not going to be able to stop it. They might be able to capitalize on the fact that all these heroes are here. We'll see exactly how it goes. They have a Song of the Siren. All he needs to do is pop it, and already, I mean, Team Druckwelle, they've split up already. Cube now in a heap of trouble. Going to be falling, melting immediately. AA ult on 3. Not the end of the world by any means. Wow, Familiars take a lot of damage from that AA ult. James Joyce now going to get caught out, and just the fracturing of Team Druckwelle in that Roche pit. You get a Roche, you get an Aegis. I'm still not entirely sure if it's worth it.
I just felt like it was the way they split up. It didn't quite go for them. And I was hoping that Storm would go in with the Naga Siren ultimate and make a Roshan steal attempt. That would be awesome.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh yeah, I just didn't see it really happening when it comes right down to it. Now, with those 2 kills, and this is going to make this tower all that much easier. I just wanted to briefly look at the net worth a little bit and see exactly how the Mongolz are doing. And I mean, they're doing none too bad by any means. With the top 3 spots, actually, they're doing terrifically when you look at it. Masquerade now in a bit of trouble, however. Corrin really does want to make something happen. Maybe should have popped Eclipse, because you can never really catch Spider-Man, but you can if you have a haste. Now Serpent Ward's being used. Doesn't seem to really matter. You have Luna there just to able to polish off that Timber Saw. And so, I mean, Team Druckwelle, not out of this by any means, but just looking at the net worth, it definitely seems like Mongolz with a very substantial lead in just what each hero can do. Obviously, you have Luna, who later on in the game can flash farm very nicely. They haven't quite started to stack these Ancients for him yet, but it's neither hither nor thither, really, as it can always happen. And so, I mean, when it comes right down to it, with that net worth, things looking quite nicely for Mongolz. It now looks like they're trying to set something up on this Visage, and he is so close to running right into them. Akimbo only has enough for a Shackles, and that's gonna be enough. Familiar's not able to save his buddies, but now the rest of Mongolz, or I should say, yeah, the rest of Mongolz converging onto Team Druckwelle. Looks like Akimbro doesn't actually have a way to get out of here. Paxa knows it, and now looks like we have a little race car on to him. He's trying to basically get down Akimbro. Weaving through these trees, can't do too much, has a Shackles available, and of course, now that Masquerade has shown up, there is absolutely no hiding in any juke spot from this Timber Saw. So, I mean, yeah, you use a smoke, you get a Visage, but really, you're just losing both of your supports, and it looks like Mongol's going to be able to pull farther and farther ahead in the net worth, farther and farther ahead in the difference in gold, and in experience as well.
It's unfortunate for the Shadow Shaman. Yeah, 2k gold. Whether it's a Blink Dagger or it's Force Staff, either way, it was so close, yet so far. But Druckwelle's lineup is a lineup that can play, that can drag, that can defend, that can split push. So, as big of a lead that Mongol has, they are running what somewhat of
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
how do you put it? They only really have one late game DPS hero. I mean, sure, Timber does tons, but he doesn't really contribute anything when it comes to tower pushing. And Mongol's lineup, it's not. Once again, this is some of the problems that we always speak about. That a lineup, as good as they are at killing, if they're not good enough at pushing, it just ends up giving space to the other team. And Druckwelle, they're behind, yes, but their lineup can defend, and then at the same time they can go for the split push of their own. And they have so many comeback mechanics, and there's so much potential in this lineup to make things work out for them.
I thought for a second there that Storm was actually going to be saving up on this Naga Siren for a Radiance and transitioning from support Naga to a very nice late game and split pushing Naga Siren, but instead has just opted to pick up an ultimate orb right away. Obviously it makes her a little bit tankier, but she had about 2,000 gold. Why not just wait around? She's getting free farm right now. Why not just wait around, transition into being another very strong carry, and then, like you were saying, you don't really need to worry too much about the push that Druckwelle could pull out there, because you have a Naga Siren with a Radiance.
Definitely, that would have been, for me, the ideal choice.
Trying to find a cube, almost gets him. A mech is used, however. AA ult flies, and now it looks like, ooh, it does land on him. Not too sure he can do too much. It looks like it's still ticking away, and now Masquerade does finally get in here. Second Densetsu in a heap of trouble, but of course no stun available. And this Puck, realizing that he can't down an ogre in one little go, he's actually opting to get more points into this Dagon, get as many Dagon buffs as humanly possible. As that's happening, looks like we have Huntsman, MGL, Masquerade, and Paxa finding a kill in the bot lane. Everybody TPing in now, and now it looks like Sanke trying his very best to just weed out, find where Corrin has gone. Doesn't have a Dream Coil available to really take him out, but now Storm is there, however. Always does have a Song of the Siren available. Needs to run away from this Eclipse. Needs to be so careful right now. It looks like Storm in a heap of trouble. Izzy actually does indeed get out of Cold Feet's range. Now it looks like Corrin in a bit of trouble himself. They pop the Aegis. James Joyce needs to be a little bit careful as well. Where's that big Dagon shot? There it is. Sanke able to polish him off, and with that, Corrin now going to fall as well. And that's going to open up at least one lane for Mongolz to take a tier 2. I'm guessing this mid lane.
Oh yeah, Druckwelle then heaps of trouble when Aluna is losing out to a support Naga Siren. Wow, it's devastating, to put it simply. Oh, and he's in so much trouble. Furion, 3, 2, 1.
Where is it? Where's the follow-up? Where's the Dagon?
No.
Sanke.
Right.
Oh, he actually dies because he TPs out of the coil.
A slight misplay, perhaps. When you want to TP out from a Dream Coil, you have to let it tick for 3 seconds, because TP is also 3 seconds. So when you TP in the latter portion of the Dream Coil, which lasts for 6 seconds, you wouldn't break the coil and die. But of course, easier said than done.
Oh, and you know, like when you're that low on HP and you know Puck's there and he's just waiting to get a loser orb down, you can't help but feel a huge amount of pressure to just get the hell out of there as soon as humanly possible. But yeah, like you were saying, this Luna is actually right on par with Naga Siren, and I mean Storm, he probably could have actually gone and bought a Radiance and just made his life that much easier, but he's actually gone to go, looks like he's going straight for that Manta as soon as possible, trying to throw down as many illusions as humanly possible, or I should say, as Nagally possible, just to make sure that, I guess, Eclipse doesn't land too well, maybe some mind games and some good detection. A Kimbro completely doomed to death, and Sanke is actually going straight for as many Dagon levels as humanly possible as well, and just trying to make sure that...
Masquerade should go for Dagons as well.
Huh? Pardon?
Masquerade should also go for Dagon.
Just keep
In
that...
Druckwelle, the heroes are paper thin. It's so easy. Like, Dagon, it's a brilliant item if you want to pump the Bloodstone charges. And you already have, what, Dagon from Puck? Why not get Dagon on Masquerade as well? Sure, there are plenty of options, and I don't think any of them would make that much of a difference, but Dagon, it's simple. You just need the burst, and if you have a Dagon 5, you can pretty much instantly kill a Shadow Shaman.
Ooh, Storm in a bit of trouble, but not so much anymore. Of course, he has the get out of jail free button with that Song of the Siren, and now realizing that he chose to stay there instead of TPing out immediately, both Corrin and Nature's Prophet, they need to realize that there is some cavalry coming in, and of course Masquerade getting in there quite in a timely fashion, and they decided to TP out of there, and I mean rightly so.
Warriors of the wood.
Ooh, Puck and Fest Bomb. Boom! James Joyce, there is that Dagon doing a lot of work. Looks like Eclipse is available, however, so he needs to get out of here. Sonke with so little mana because of that Necronomicon, and now Paxa in a heap of trouble. So, an Eclipse for a Lifestealer, not too bad. Masquerade is here, but with no trees to really latch to right around now. He's not going to be having the mobility that he really wants to be able to polish any of these people off. Necronomicon, he's going to... Oh, actually, that Timber Chain does not latch, doesn't eat it up. And now it looks like we have Corrin and Cube trying their very best to catch one of them out. Will be landing a stun on Masquerade, but I just don't know if they have the damage to take him out, really. He now pops that Timber Chain and TP away. Where is Elucent Beam? Nowhere to be found, and he gets out of there scot-free. MGL gets an AA ult on him, but he just does not really care that much.
Oh, this playmail is so dirty. If Luna ever uses Eclipse without her BKB on, Timbersaw is just gonna soak all the damage and return it back to Luna, and that's like almost an instant kill.
Oh yeah, I mean not only that, he's got so much nice regen coming out of Bloodstone. He can really be that initiator that his team wants and needs. And not only that, it looks like Nagasiren has finished off that Manta, gonna be making all those illusions. He actually does quite a bit of just pot shot damage, and I mean, while he might have been able to go for that Radiance and get some nice split pushing, maybe he's just not familiar with it, and with this Manta and Mirror Image, he will have a pretty good time helping out,
right
trying to take some towers. It looks like now Visage just completely caught out, not too sure what he's doing, and now with that, the Mongolz basically trying to make something happen on their own. Can they kill Corrin? Can Paxa slap him fast enough? Can indeed. Song of Siren to set up everything else. One ensnare. Can't quite find a Kimbro, however. Looks like we have Timbersaw running in, though. He's got Blink. He's got Blade Mail. What can they do? He's just too fast. The mobility coming out of Mongolz is just ridiculous right now. You have Sonke, you have Race Car Lifestealer, you have Storm, who's actually moving surprisingly fast as well with those drums, and now you have Blink on Timbersaw. Oh, it just seems like they can catch you no matter what they're doing. Second Densetsu trying his very best now to push in these towers, but I guess the slowest member of Mongolz actually shows up first, Huntsman, so they're able to do a little bit there, but not quite able to catch Second Densetsu this time around. Oh no, and it looks like the Courier in a heap of trouble. Second Densetsu with a very nice bit of map awareness coming out of him.
Oh yeah. Donkey, Dagon 5. Let's see who will die instantly from the burst. So that's 800 magical bursts. Shadow Shaman, so that's basically one right or two right click on the Shadow Shaman, and then Dagon 5. He's gone. Alchemist is fairly tank. Luna with what, 1350 HP. If she takes a full combo from the Puck, she's also gonna die. Nature's Prophet, pretty much the same story. Ancient Apparition, a Dagon and one right click. So this Puck is a huge threat right now for anyone, and Nagasiren's caught out. And
yeah, but of course Puck is right there. But now the TP coming in from Second Densetsu, he's going to be able to lose her at the very least into this Roche Pit, and blinks out of here. It looks like a Kimbro though does find him, turns him into a chicken now, and it looks like he really does need his teammates here to help out. Masquerade right in there immediately. What can they really do? Pops the Blade Mail as well. Corrin happily did have a BKB on up at that time. James Joyce just trying to do whatever he can, possibly in the wings. Corrin now needs to just run away from this, and with that, Open Wound's not going to be able to get out of here too quickly. Actually still living, not too sure how he lived through all of that, and actually looks like Team Druckwelle maybe coming out on top of this one. Cube trying his very darndest to do whatever he can. Masquerade right back into the thick of things, actually blinks away from Cube, instead trying to make some other fights happen, but these Necro Warriors really being very annoying for him. Cube though, that ult of his, it's got to be ending soon, and when it does, he's going to be very scared of this Timbersaw, and indeed he is. Now just running for his life. Timber Chain, he just needs one more Chakram to slow him down fast enough. Soul Assumption now being used. No Timber Chain available. No amount of trees on this high ground. Going to be able to get him up there, and so it looks like Cube able to get out of there alive, and I think when everything's said and done, it looks like the Mongolz actually not coming out ahead in that one. They lost a Puck, they lost a Lifesteal, they lost basically their two biggest heroes, and they did gain a Luna, but I mean, the only other thing they got was an AA, so looks like Team Druckwelle coming out ahead.
Yeah, Druckwelle, they're definitely pulling it back slowly, but bit by bit, it is happening. that was some good pickoffs from them. They got rid of the Naga Siren, they got rid of the puck before that big fight actually happened. But at the same time, you can also see how far ahead the Mongols are right now. That fight was essentially a 3-on-5 because the puck was dead and so was the Naga, and they still gotten so much out of it.
Yeah, I think it's a very difficult place to be in for Team Druckwelle right now. And look at the, where is it? I want to say, if we look at the gold graph right now, 15,000 in favor of the Mongols, more than 20,000 in favor in experience. So they're doing quite nicely, but of course this late into the game isn't the biggest teller of how it's going, and especially if Korin he's actually got a Talisman of Evasion. That might be what let him just live in that melee for so long just then, but he's still well off from getting any big damage item on Luna. Doesn't have a Helm of the Dominator. The only thing really keeping him alive is this BKB, and the more fights that happen, the lower and lower that's going to be, and it's just not going to be able to help him out as much, especially against a Timbersaw with a Blade Mail. You just can't do too much. A ult now going in, but I just don't know if they can get here quite in time. Luna's quite fast, but Mongolz actually decide to back off. Paxa, this AAL, doesn't quite like what he sees, and now we have Sanke. All they need to do really is do an Infest Bomb, try and catch somebody out, and instead they're just letting Seiken Densetsu do what he does best. He's got 4,500 in the bank. These Necronomicon warriors doing a lot of work, and they just can't keep mucking around next to this Roche pit right now at all. Now it looks like Sanke does get a kill on the AA with that combo, like we said. Oh, Cube gonna not quite stun himself because of that Song of the Siren, but at the very least will be able to get his buddies out of there scot-free. It looks now like, yeah, just Paxa going and farming in the jungle, and Seiken Densetsu does finally show up, doesn't have too much, and now Puck being so cheeky, he's just taking out anybody he possibly can with this huge Dagon of his, and I mean, that's fine, just fine, really.
Right now, the Naga Siren is, look at him, support Naga Siren fighting a carry Luna and coming out on top. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, Storm's got loving that. Seiken Densetsu now in a heap of trouble. This could be the bit that really puts the nail in the coffin. Gonna be forcing a buyback out of the Luna, out of Seiken Densetsu as well. While that's happening, you have Masquerade and Sanke pushing down the mid, and I guess Naga Siren alone will probably be enough with these illusions to get some good push into this tower, but instead is going and opting to help out his teammates in the mid now. Now, they have forced out those buybacks, and that's probably able to just get out of that so incredibly easily as well. So, I mean, with that, the only Mongolz hero who is below Team Druckwelle in net worth is this Visage, and he's actually only behind the Luna by about 2,000 gold. So, things looking very nice for the Mongolz right now.
Oh man. I don't know, I feel so bad for the Luna. Oh, and now they're going on the Alchemist.
He still has ult available, and of course nothing too much is going to be polishing him off right there, so he is able to get out of there. Always does have a mech as well as a BKB, actually a fresh new BKB as well, so he's going to be doing fine, just fine, but it just looks like Mongolz able to pile on too much damage, too much tower pressure, and now this is when you start seeing all of those ensnare traps being thrown by these illusions. It's just ridiculous. This is when you see the Naga Siren start to kind of come online, and I can see why they chose the Manta. They kind of want a little bit more early pressure. Cube stunning himself, melts immediately. Beautiful, beautiful little Dream Coil on 2. James Joyce melting immediately, and of course, the Aegis taking pretty much all of that damage from the Eclipse. Buyback immediately coming out of this Alchemist, but it's not going to stop them. While that's happening, you have Puck just melting, but at the very least being a very good distraction for the Mongolz right now. And a Grave Chill just to make sure that Huntsman gets out of here alive. They are chasing him down. Korin just so fast, 418 move speed. Not too sure what Huntsman is doing right here, but of course he does have some backup. Masquerade with that Blink Dagger, always so useful, so scary. Cute pops the BKB and his ult. Doesn't matter, a bash will polish him off, and there's the GG. We're going into game 3, my friend.
Oh wow, this game, Mongols were in full control since the beginning. They got all the lanes correctly, and they got everything to work out. Yeah, very, very well played.
That's right. Yes, indeed. So a little bit of a different game this time around, obviously, compared to that first one in the Mongolz. Coming out on top. For everybody tuning in from Dota 2 Lounge, don't worry, your rares are still suspended in animation. You still don't quite know what's happening. Obviously, Druckwelle doing very nice in the first game. Mongolz doing very nice in this one. Whew. Gonna go into game 3, folks. Don't go anywhere. Should be only a little bit of a break. And then, yeah, I've been Briefcase, bringing you this ESPL Weekly Series number 6. And along with me has been Mito.
Game number 3.